Hi, my name is Jennifer Paichaki, and I would like to welcome you to my PowerPoint for creating innovative uses of technology. We are going to be using podcasting and digital posters to create movie advertisements. The first lesson, creating a podcast, is going to be done with my 4th grade students. They have been reading There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom by Louisa Carr. With a partner, they will be asked to create a radio commercial advertising an upcoming movie based on the book that we've been reading. They're going to do this with creating a podcast, and then they're going to have to post it on our class wiki page for their peers to evaluate. The technology that's needed for this innovative technology is a computer with a built-in microphone capable of creating an MP3 file, or a computer with an external microphone that can create an MP3 file. They need some type of recording software such as Audacity, some space on a server to host the file, and they need to have internet access to post the podcast and listen to the podcast at our wiki site. The teacher needs to know how to basic technology skills, operating a computer, troubleshooting things, how to access the internet. They need to know how to record voices using the sound software, and also to edit the recordings if there's glitches and things that the students want to deplete. They also need to know how to save the file as an MP3 file, and they need to know how to download the podcast to the wiki site. They also need to be able to model all of these things effectively. The students need to know several items. They need to know how to have basic knowledge of a computer, how to access the internet. They must know how to access and operate the microphone on a computer, and they must have read the novel There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom. So the step 1 is the pre-production phase of the assignment, and the students are first going to be asked to read the story. We read it in many different ways, this whole group with partners, individually, and then they are going to be told that they are going to create a radio advertisement advertising the new movie based on this novel. They're going to be given 2 choices to do this. They're going to either be given the opportunity to make a podcast or a digital poster, which is the next assignment that I'll explain. First, then we can brainstorm ideas. The students can think about content, the purpose of the podcast, who is the desired audience, what topics should be covered during the recordings, who with their partners are they going to be recording, are they going to be script writers, and how they're going to divvy up the tasks. And then, of course, the students and the teacher will have to practice the different technology skills after several small lessons are taught, some whole group lessons taught on the actual technology, and then some small group lessons taught with using the technology and practicing that technology. After the students have learned how to record voices, we'll go into the production phase. The students can create scripts, and it's good that if they just kind of do things on the fly also, but they should have a basic script to start with. Once they have their scripts done, they can produce the podcast using Audacity, and I will give you a brief tutorial on Audacity. It's not a very complicated program. Since I have 4th grade students, I wouldn't require them to do a lot of editing. They can play around with it a little bit, but we're not going to be too critical of that. And all the students have to do is press the record button, and it automatically records the voices, and they can stop it. They can play, and then all they have to do is export the file, save it as an MP3. They can give it a name, an author's name, artist's name, okay? And that's all there is to it. And then they can, like I say, they can go in and edit their voices if they say a lot or if they hear background noise, and we'll do some very basic editing. Once they have recorded their podcast, their commercial, they will have to go to the wiki site to post it. And I'll show you my wiki site and show you briefly how they would have to do that. This is my wiki page, and the kids are very familiar with this site, so this shouldn't be too difficult for them to do. And all they have to do is go in and edit the page, and then they find the file on the computer. There it is. Hopefully this will work. I was having some trouble yesterday. And there it is. And then they can center it. They can make make it a little larger. And then after that, they would type their name so we know who the author, who the author of the podcast is. They just save it to the wiki, and then they can go back and play the podcast. And it's that simple. So I will go back out of this. I will be using a rubric to grade the students, and they will know the expectations that I have prior to the assignment being done. There are several advantages to creating a podcast. The students learn important telecommunication skills, important technology skills, and we'll talk briefly about the transfer of this project in just a moment. They get to collaborate with a partner, they get to collaborate with other students, and certainly with the teacher, so collaboration skills are certainly learned in this assignment. And they get to understand the story elements more, which is great. They love to transfer their knowledge of the story, and it's very, they can really get an idea of the important elements such as characters and setting and different things by an assignment like this. So I think it'll be very helpful in their understanding of the story as well. There are a couple of disadvantages. Editing process could be frustrating for the students. That's why fourth grade I wouldn't require them to perfect the recording. It's kind of hard in a school to find quiet space, especially when you have a large classroom. I have 29 students this year, so trying to find a quiet space. I did have another classmate of ours suggest maybe doing this in the library, so that was a great suggestion. Also, to find the equipment available. My laptop has a microphone. Our computers in our lab do not have microphones, so we would have to work on finding some of the equipment that's necessary. Instructional strategies are communication skills, collaboration, writing skills for the script writing aspect of this assignment, and then the modeling would have to be done, which is the best strategy for this type of assignment. And then using peer evaluation is also a very powerful tool. There's lots of different ways this type of assignment can be transferred. Podcasts can be used by administrators to provide meeting minutes. Teachers can use podcasts to share information with other teachers, convey instructions to students who might be absent, or even post instructions for maybe projects on a wiki site or something so parents can access those. Students can use podcasts. Teachers can assign this as a different type of assignment for like an online audio newspaper. They can summarize book chapters. They can do oral histories, reenactments. They can narrate science labs. There's just countless number of ways that podcasts can be used in the classroom by the students. So moving on to my second innovative use of technology is some of the students will choose the option to create a digital poster. Again, this is going to be with my fourth grade. This is still based on the book There's a Boy in the Girls Bathroom by Louis Sachar, and instead of creating a podcast, they'll be creating the advertising on a digital poster and then posting that poster to the class wiki. The technology, they need a computer with internet access. That's all they need. And the digital posters are viewed best with flash players, so we would need to make sure that the students have the most recent versions of those in the school to be able to view these posters. Sometimes they do have trouble loading. The teacher must possess just basic computer skills. It would be helpful if the teacher had played around with the Blogster website so they could help troubleshoot if students needed them. And they must also be effective at modeling and classroom management skills. The students just need to have a basic working knowledge of a computer. They need to be familiar with searching the web for pictures. They need to be familiar with copyright laws, which pictures they can use legally and which they can't. And they need to know how to save the pictures to an assigned file on our server at school so they can be accessed. And then they must have read the novel, There's a Boy in a Girl's Bathroom by Louisa Carr, and they should be familiar with our Classroom Wiki site. Step 1, we have a pre-production phase. It's similar to the other, brainstorming, thinking about our audience. We need to teach the technology. We have some lessons using the Blogster website. I'm doing some mini lessons with that and practicing making some very simple posters. The production phase is to go to the Blogster website and make the poster, and I'll show you briefly how to do that. Blogster is a very fun website. This is a poster that I made for the front of my wiki page. So once the students, there's all different kinds of things they can use, backgrounds, there's different graphics, they post pictures, they can post links on this. When they are done, they just have to embed the blog, and they can select the size. I would encourage this size because it's much smaller. It won't take up a lot of space on the wiki page. So after they've done that and they go to the wiki and they just go to the advertisements page, and they select edit, and they select the widget, tool, other, they embed it and save it, and presto, when they save it to the wiki, it is there. And I had already posted one previously, but you can see that the poster would be there for them to view. And again, I will be grading this using a rubric, and the kids would know the expectations ahead of time. And the advantages to this type of innovative use of technology, again, they learn important telecommunication skills, technology skills. They have to collaborate with their partner, and again, they're going to increase their understanding of the story elements. The disadvantages are students have to create an account on Blogster, so I think I would seek my parents' approval prior to that happening. And we have to make sure that we get the computers updated so we can view the posters without any trouble. Effective communication skills are used, and persuasive communication skills. We're trying to get people to come see our movie. They also are collaborating with their partner. They have writing skills. They have to set up the poster, and modeling and peer evaluation will also be done. The transfer for this is that administrators can use this type of innovative technology by using it to possibly welcome new staff, to bullet some important things, maybe have staff pictures on there. Teachers can use this to display as a starting point for a unit such as volcanoes. They could make posters to present information at staff meeting. They can, students can use these to display knowledge learned in a content area, do an autobiography or book report or a research report. Students can upload videos that they have created or found on the internet to add another dimension to the report. And the poster can be interactive so that other students can view the poster online, click on links, and move about throughout the poster. These are the references if you're interested in making posters. This is the website, blogster.com. Wikispaces is, we've been studying wikis in this class, so you may find that site to be very useful. And then this is the link for the Audacity software. It is free. I think they do ask for a donation, but it is shareware, so, and very easy to use. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you try out some of these innovative uses of technology.